From a life on your own to a family of your own. From walking her to school to walking her down the aisle. From the saddest endings to happier beginnings. Avita.
Are you willing to take a step back in order to make the leap forward? Hello everyone and welcome to Restart Wellness. This is a live learning program powered by Project Ripple aimed to discuss how people can stay healthy in a new reality. My name is Steven Koo and thank you for joining us for this special episode. Today, we're looking at how we can be better in this next normal. O diba? Hindi na new normal, gas-gas na yan. So next normal na tayo ngayon. To help us answer our hot take question of the day, ay intindi natin kung bakit next normal na tayo ngayon and how we can make the most out of it. We've invited three gorgeous, talented, and incredibly smart ladies who have all proven that they have what it takes to be confident, beautiful, and empowered. Please welcome the winners of the 2020 Miss Universe Philippines. First off, we'd like to introduce Miss Universe Philippines 2020 fourth runner-up and ambassadress for gender equality, Billy Hackinson. Welcome, Billy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you po for having us, and thank you for trusting us and for inviting us to be here on your show.
Nice. Welcome, Billy. All right, next we have Miss Universe Philippines 2020 third runner-up and ambassadress for tourism, Pauline Amelinks.
Hello, everyone. Kumusta? Thank you
Hi,
for
Pauline.
having
Welcome.
me today, Stephen.
And last but not the least, ambassadress for education and your Miss Universe Philippines 2020, Rabia Mateo. Welcome, Rabia.
Hello everybody! Kamusta kayong lahat? Sana safe and sound kayo kung saan man kayo ngayon.
Yes, nice. All right, ladies. So, let's start off the show with the hot take question of the day. And the first question is, what inspired you to have the grit to be able to get through this year? It's been a very, very challenging year. So is it A, family, B, friends, C, personal goals, or D, others? And if it's others, please let us know what it is. Are you ready with your answers? Please flash them right now on screen. Okay, so family, friends, others, si Billy Pinacquiao. Okay, family, personal goals, and of course, si Rabia is family. All right, that's good to know. So these answers will come in handy during our discussion, so please keep them in mind. But before that, I want to ask, this is the first time I'm meeting you girls personally, so I want to ask you guys, what is one thing about you that most people don't know? Maybe something that you haven't, told the press or people don't know about you. So let's start with Billy siguro. Billy, go ahead.
Siguro, people assume na because I'm in the industry of pageantry that I am actually a fan. But to be honest, I haven't finished a single Miss Universe episode. I'm so sorry, but yeah, so I love to participate in beauty pageants, but I don't really like watching. So that's it. I'm sorry, you guys.
Okay lang. Wala na daw. Next year daw, hindi ka na daw invited. Next, okay, Pauline, tell us something about you that we don't know.
Oh, I can tell you many things. But the first thing that I'd like to share for people is, number one, I'm a hoarder. I hoard the littlest things from toilet paper rolls to greeting cards. And I have a lot of space in my home in Bohol to hoard those things. But ever since I lived in Avida here in Manila, I had to tone down the hoarding because I don't want to mess up the beautiful space that I'm living in here.
Yun. Yun ang magandang sagot. Alright, alam mo pag hoarder ka, ano daw yan, may ano daw yan, psychological reason daw yan. So alamin natin yan mamaya.
Anong psychological reason?
Marami ka daw tinatagong baggage. Kaya mo mag-let go. Okay, Rabia. Okay, last. Sige, tell us something about yourself that we don't know.
Ooh, this is fun. Pero siguro if there would be one thing that I would love other people to know about me, that would definitely be I know how to rap. Siguro hindi ako marunong sumayaw, hindi ako marunong kumanta, pero mahilig ako mag-rap. So
Nice.
hindi siya
Okay.
halata and it's not typical for a beauty queen to do so. Pero yeah, feeling ko mana ako kay mama ko. Sa bilis
That's
magsalita.
good. Sige, we have a portion in the show called the talent portion. So mamaya we're gonna hear you do a sample. Okay, so now we're gonna take one step backwards, ladies, in a segment that we call the slant. We're gonna dive deeper into the issue. So ngayon, we're gonna ask everybody to look back over the year that's been and share with us some of your stories. Tell us about how you dealt with the past year and what were your biggest struggles and how did you overcome it. So at this point, siguro, let's start with Pauline naman.
Biggest struggles for 2020. I think it's something that the three of us can relate to, and that's balancing life when it comes to preparing for a pageant, dealing and coping with the pandemic, and then trying to help others as well, all at the same time. It can be quite overwhelming, and I think maybe that was the biggest challenge that I had to face, and maybe also admitting to myself that I was not okay. I'm the kind of person that usually likes to always remain strong, whether it's towards myself or especially towards other people. So I had a very hard time reaching out and admitting to myself that maybe I needed help from other people or support.
Tama yan. It's okay not to be okay. Sabi nga narinig natin yan all the time. I mean, you mentioned a while ago that you guys went through a beauty pageant in the middle of the pandemic. I can't imagine how that can be, even if you guys are in beautiful Baguio. Billy, tell us something more about the struggles that you went through this year.
So, for all the girls who joins beauty pageants, we go through a lot of trainings. And for the three of us, we're lucky enough to be part of Aces and Queens. So we have a camp. So they sponsor us for the trainings, things like that. So there's a norm, and it has to be like one-on-one. And then pandemic hits. How are we gonna get ready for the pageant? And is the pageant pushing through? Things like that. Sobrang, we had to think of so many things. And on top of that, we have to worry about our families because we're living away from our families. Most of the girls are living away from their families. Plus the finances. How are we gonna keep up with all of the gastos? So, daming problema. To the point na a lot of the girls backed out or were about to quit. And I was one of them. Sobrang hirap na niya. Hindi ko na kayang ma-sustain yung momentum as a candidate. So every week I had thoughts of giving up or just quitting and just focusing on my job. But then, again, because of the pandemic, and I'm a cabin crew, by the way, wala din akong flights. Wala din akong work. So, anong gagawin ko sa oras ko? Sobrang mentally straining nung lahat nung nangyari. But as Pauline said, and as you guys said, it's okay to not be okay. And I was able to appreciate that more. Na parang, yeah, it's okay for me to take a break and just not be strong all the time.
Yeah, actually, maganda yung mga sinabi mo, Billy, because a lot of people don't know na, it takes a lot to be part of a pageant. Akala nila it's all beauty and glamour, but, it takes a lot of financial strain and also a lot of physical strain because you go through these camps na parang, from what I hear, because I know other, beauty pageant winners, it's almost like a military training camp, so to speak. Okay, Rabia, what were your major struggles and how did you overcome it?
The year 2020 was my year, but we cannot deny the fact that I also had my own personal struggle. And maybe the main one was trying to conquer my self-doubt, because that is the hardest thing to do. Because sometimes I would wake at the wrong side of the bed and I would realize that I'm not perfect. So why do I join pageant? Because I'm far from this beauty queens. I'm far from being the image of beauty and perfection. And there were times that I wanted to quit Miss Universe Philippines. But the good thing is, God is so good. He blessed me with a loving mother, and my mama would always remind me that I'm not getting any younger. And if I want to join pageant and I want to do something for other people, now is the best time. Especially this is, the hardest year that so far we had. So I need to become the symbol of hope. I need to do something for Iloilo City. And I was able to do that because I changed my perspective. And I was able to accept the things that I'm insecure about, like my body type. I was insecure about my skin because for most of the years they would prefer mestizas over morenas. But I realized that I am a beautiful person inside and out. And with that, there's so much that I can offer than my body and how I look like.
Aside from your success at Miss Universe, what were the other wins that you celebrated this past year? So, you mentioned nga yung, I think some of you ladies also did some work with some charity work on your own. So tell us more about that.
So when it in terms of charity work, I've been part of the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation since 2019, and even in the midst of a pandemic, we were still able to reach out, and perhaps even more so because of the pandemic, and at least help children through these difficult times, especially those children who don't have any access to education because they don't own a phone or don't have stable internet connection. So it was amazing to be able to reach out to all those children, and it was very heartwarming to know that other people were still willing to help even though they were having a hard time themselves. I didn't expect so many people to show support, but they all still showed up and we all had amazing time as well. And even more noteworthy for me at least is that in 2020 I had a milestone in my life and I was able to create my first ever children's coloring book, which I use in my outreaches for the Yellow Bottom Hope Foundation. So yay to me.
Nice, nice. That's so nice to hear, Pauline. And also, I think si Billy also has, si Billy ba or you, Pauline, yung Hope in a Box? I read somewhere somebody did Hope in a Box. Oh, that's you. So yun yung kasama yung coloring book and everything for the kids.
Exactly,
Billy,
yes.
did you have anything else aside from the Miss Universe thing during 2020?
Yeah, so actually, during the quarantine period, I was alone in Cebu. So it was pretty tricky for me. As much as I wanted to host charity events, things like that, it wouldn't be possible. But after winning the Miss Universe fourth runner-up placement, I was, diba, Philippines was struck with so many typhoons last year. For some reason, hindi ko alam na I had that many fans na willing na mag-bid or mag-contribute for my relief operation. So me and Pauline, we arranged some sort of an auction and then the proceeds were given to the victims of the typhoon from Manila, Marikina, and also Catanduanes and other provinces.
Aside from your success with Miss Universe Philippines, what are the other wins that you have celebrated this past year?
Oh, this is nice. But you know what? The success of my brother, because he just graduated from school, I consider that also as my success because I was the one who's been spending for his education for the past 2 years when I started working. And that is my promise to my family. That is my promise to Mama na regardless of what's going to happen in the future, I'm going to help her. I'm going to help her with my brother and I'm going to do everything and anything that I could to give them the life that they deserve.
Galing, galing. Ruby, as a personal anecdote, I noticed that when people have good intentions in life, normally, whatever they do, they succeed. Kasi nangyayari dyan is, the universe conspires to provide it for you because your intentions are good. So, good on you, Ruby, for getting your brother through school. Talk us through your mentality. Parang, how do you guys, kasi you mentioned a while ago, diba? It's okay not to be okay. It's a lot about mental health, a lot about yung mga mental struggles. How do you push through with your mentality? What inspires you? What motivates you guys to push through and succeed?
My mentality or being able to push through. One thing that I keep reminding myself, especially recently, and one thing that my close friends also keep reminding me of, is that you need to give yourself a break sometimes. You might be too overwhelmed with everything that you think you must be doing for yourself and for other people that you tend to sometimes lose yourself along the way. And I had that recently, so I needed just a reality slap in the face again for me to take a break and step back for a bit. But when it comes to what drives me, I think this doesn't sound this. I mean this in a selfless way ish, and that is to really look at who you can become in the future and use that as your inspiration. And in my case, the things that I want to accomplish, I know are also going to help my parents. So those two things put together drive me to always give it my best and to always, be stronger than the challenges that hit me.
Okay, so you basically envision your future already, and you envision your life in the future and what you want to do. Billy,
Yes.
what do you do to prepare yourself mentally for all these challenges?
Sobrang hirap ng tanong because before the pageant and even after the pageant, I was pretty lost. I wasn't depressed or anything like that, but my anxiety is always through the roof because everything was uncertain. Na I would think, are my dreams still valid? Should I just focus on, just merely surviving all of this? And it's really hard. And then after my press presentation, when I reiterated my truth and I said that I'm bisexual, everything shifted. A lot of people messaged me, a lot of people started showing their support, and that really helped me mentally. Parang na-lessen yung worry ko about my future, about what's gonna happen with me, what's gonna happen with my career. I have a lot of people backing me up. So I have a lot of people na nakikinig sa akin, who I inspire. And whatever I say, may may mangyayari din sa kanila, something like that. It affects a lot of people, and it's not just me. And I never realized that. And my scope right now is really big, na it touches me, and it gives me this other sense of responsibility and fulfillment as well. So that's really helping me a lot right now.
I guess the fact that you have a lot of followers and people that look up to you, yan yung, that makes you stronger, because you know that whatever you say will affect them. All right, now that we've had a chance to tell their stories of success over the past year, pag-usapan naman natin ngayon how they're gonna move forward sa tinatawag nating next normal. Okay, first off, we want to find out, what does your daily schedule look like? Do you work as a beauty queen in a more virtual setting compared to the constant travel?
So I've won pageants before, and it's very different, as in very different talaga. Yes, that's right. Everything is virtual now. Before going for shoots or activities or endorsement shoots or whatever activity that I have, swab. So parang in a week I get tested siguro mga 2-3 times. So I think I already have calluses on my nose. I don't know, but it's really different. But it also I also get a lot of learnings from it. Parang ang dami mong makukuhang diskarte. Parang how are we gonna manage things? How are we gonna push through with everything? Because nothing is the same anymore. We are in the industry where we have to depend on events, and we have to have producers and a lot of people around us. And now we have to do everything by ourselves. So we will receive
That's true.
products, we have to shoot it na kami lang. So we're the makeup artist, we're the light tech, kami lahat, audio, everything. So it's pretty hard, pero at least I get new skills. So that's fun. I think it's still good, still okay. We can manage.
There's gonna be a lot of really good anecdotes for your kids in the future. Like, you were Miss Universe Philippines winners, and you did everything on your own.
Oh my
Pauline?
God,
Yeah.
Stephen,
Go ahead,
grabe,
Bailey.
sorry. I just want to quickly put this in. During the competition, we have this ring light series wherein we have to shoot everything with the green screen, and we
Yeah.
don't know how to make it work. So we have to duct tape everything on the wall, and then go back kasi you're all sweaty because from duct taping everything. So you have to touch up, and then may matatanggal na side. So it was a good practice, I guess, for all the winners.
Well, if it's worth anything to you, Billy, it's not just beauty queens, pati ako, that's been my life for the last couple of months, shooting everything from home. But yeah, galing. At least now you can be, you can have another career after the Miss Universe pageant. Pauline, tell us your daily schedule. What do you do now when you wake up?
I'm actually a gym nut. I really like working out in the gym, especially because it gives me that happy hormone. So I try to always inject that in my daily schedule. I'll wake up early for the gym, promise. And for the rest, a lot of things happen online, as Billy said. And though it's different, though you don't have the social interaction, the physical social interaction with people, in many ways, I kind of find that doing things online, like interviews or any other meetings that you have online, kind of maximizes your time because you don't need to travel anymore. And you know,
Yeah.
traffic here in Manila isn't. I don't want to talk about it, but you know what I mean. But you know what I mean. So it actually helps me schedule everything within my day easier, and I think
Okay.
that's a nice thing for us to really uh, use the power of social media in this online era.
First national pageant, so I have not much of an experience about being a beauty queen. So everything is so new to me. And yes, for most of the time, I would do some meetings, some events virtually. And it's kind of sad at the same time because I'm a very sociable person. So I love to talk to people. I love to, shake hands, meet and greet people. But now it's like I really need to step back and I need to use the technology in order to be an advantage for me. But my day would be I would wake up in the morning and I would have 5 to 10 minutes of meditation inside this comfort room because that was an advice given to me by a close friend of mine, Miss MJ Lasimosa. So she would always tell me that when you're meditating, try to vision yourself with the Miss Universe crown. Every day you do that because it's going to be helpful for your body, it's going to be helpful for your spirit once you claim things. We have this law of attraction thing, so that's really important to me. But for the rest of the day, I would try to trim my time, manage my time. I would go to the gym, work out, especially I really need to strengthen my upper extremity. And then I would insert my Q&A portion. I would read a book, I would call the friend and I would tell him, okay, ask me questions nga, tignan natin if okay pa yung knowledge ko, if I can answer it well. And yeah, I think this is also a secret for beauty queens. Always watch the news because every day you get to learn something, you get to be informed. And now Miss Universe is looking for somebody who is knowledgeable about the things happening. So that's my preparation, that's my training for the rest of the day.
Galing. Para ring parang athlete talaga. You have to,
Yes.
work out sa gym and all of that, and at the same time read the news. You mentioned a lot about your home kanina, Pauline, and about hoarding. So now my question is, how has your lifestyle at home changed with things like virtual meetings, social distancing? Have you been living, have you been, adapting to this new environment? Because I hear you're living in a community ng Avida now.
Yes. So I have Avida mornings every morning now, and I just wanted to say that I'm super grateful for that. Malaking tulong talaga that we were allowed to stay in our units in Avida, and it it does help us, I think, because it's a very comfortable and safe space to live in. It's very conveniently located, so we don't have to go that far to get our necessities. And at least Billy and I, who is actually in the same room as me now, we live in the same building as well. So we're just an elevator ride away if ever we need something like salt or a drink or coffee or anything. So that's an amazing thing.
Ikaw, Billy, what else do you appreciate about your new living space?
So as I've said earlier, usually we have product shoots. They sent us the product. We have to tape it. Before, the struggle was my previous house isn't that Instagrammable. So medyo mahirap yung setup. But now with Avida, the furnishing is always nice.
Oh,
Everything is
nice.
accessible. If I want something as props, it's right there. So that's one thing that made my life easier, especially as an ambassadress. So I love that about Avida.
Hashtag sana all.
Yes, I'm very thankful to Avida for helping us and giving us our home. And as you can see right now, I'm really enjoying the comfort of my own home. I can ask some friends to be here. Actually, I have a huge mirror right here on my side. So I also do my walk or my passerella training here. And yes, I used to struggle with my place because as Billy have said, we really need to do our own shoes for some brands. And Avida, it's like a dream come true to me. It's like my dream place because everything is so accessible. When you need the pool, you just go downstairs. If you need, the rooftop, you can go there. So everything is so nice, and it is located at the center of the beach. So there's a lot of wonderful restaurants around. My gym is actually a few blocks from here. So that's the best thing about the Vida. It makes it easier for you.
Very nice. Nakakainggit. Sana ako din. Okay, in your duties as Miss Universe, how will you navigate naman this year? So, Billy, as ambassadors for gender equality, for being, coming out openly as an LGBTQ plus IA na yata, diba? Representative, tell us what are your plans for this year?
So let's start off with that word that you used, which is yata. So my goal is actually in partnership with the Miss Universe organization. They offered a project. They pitched in something for me to have my own show, and this show
Mm.
is well, I can't say the title yet, but it's a show wherein we will try to answer questions from our cisgender brother and sisters. Like the
Mm.
common questions, ano ba yung LGBTQIA+, ano ba yung L, ano ba yung B, G, T, like we
Mm.
want to make people understand because we're asking for acceptance. But a lot of people don't understand who we are. And actually, even members ng LGBTQ, they still get confused as to what these letters are. So, do
Yeah.
you really need a label? Things like that. So, I want it to be a fun and humor-filled show, and you'll feature people, personalities, medical practitioners, people from the legal field, professionals who are also members. We want to highlight their successes and as well as their struggles as members of LGBTQ. So, we wanted all the information about us accessible to everyone.
Good then. It's actually a good idea. I mean, even in my workplace, I was given a gender education by some of some of my staff kasi we're an agency, no? So we have a lot of creative people who are from the LGBTQ community, and totoo yan, right now people really need to be educated para hindi sila mag-discriminate, because if they understand it, then they won't discriminate it. Pauline, as ambassadors for tourism naman, anong gagawin natin right now? Walang tourism sa buong bansa.
That's true a little bit, pero a lot of provinces I know are working on boosting their tourism in the next normal, as you put it. And I'm actually from Bohol, and I'm working closely together with the Tourism Promotions Board of Bohol to help the tourism industry in our province start up again. And we're actually inviting tourists now and accepting tourists in Bohol. So I hope that somehow our efforts in the province can somehow be replicated also in a sustainable manner in other provinces naman. And when it comes to other activities that we're doing in collaboration with the Miss Universe Philippines organization, I will also be having a show, and hopefully I can somehow partner that as well with Billy's show. And if it's allowed, if the possibility is there for us to go around, maybe in Luzon muna, where we can just take a car ride, we can go to the different places in the Philippines or in Luzon, show what they have to offer in terms of commercial tourist spots and maybe the roads less walked by, and also add a language feature. Language here in the Philippines is very diverse. There are so many languages here, and I actually don't know how many, but I would like to learn, and hopefully it will be a fun, how do you call it, a fun vlog or a fun series for other people so that they can laugh at my slang accent and maybe also learn a thing or two about the different languages, food, and amazing places that the Philippines has to offer. It's time for us to start sharing the beauty of the Philippines again with the Filipinos first.
Galing. Very good ideas, ladies. Now, at this point, we'd like to hear naman from our ambassadors for education, Miss Universe Philippines, Rabia Mateo.
I have actually started my mini ID series, which is called The Stories of Hope. So I've been into different places here in the country already. So I've been to Cebu, and my plan is next month I'm gonna travel to Davao City. beauty. And my goal is to find stories that would inspire us, that would motivate us, because these are the kind of story that we need to hear, we need to see. And as your ambassadress for education, I would interview the students. I would know their life, I would know their struggle, and how they were able to cope up with the new normal that we have right now. So it's all about trying to use the influence that I have for the greater good. And that is the goal of Miss Universe organization. So I'm very happy that they gave us the platform to do something that we are definitely passionate about. And in my case, I'm very much excited also to interview like teachers who are also struggling with the distance modular learning that we have. So in cities like Badian, sometimes it's the teacher who travels an hour or two just to distribute the module in the homes of their students. So it's really difficult right now, and it's kind of hard for them to cope up. But because they are so passionate in what they do, they were able to survive and do justice for their job. So it is my job. I think it is my role to share these stories to the rest of the Philippines. So I hope na, I think it's gonna go out around the first week of March. Sana kayanin ng schedule, sana matapos na, because I already shot 2 episodes of my series.
Galing. Well said, Rivia. Well, you know what? Something that I noticed now na maybe a lot of people don't know is that they think beauty pageants is it's parang wala lang, it's all about beauty, vanity, but actually you ladies, you shed light on a lot of issues that people don't normally talk about. So kudos to you all for having very very strong advocacies, and I look forward to hearing more. Now, I want to find out naman, for the future Miss Universes to come, are you ladies setting a precedent? What type of precedent do you want to set? Especially you're coming off a pandemic pageant. Sige, let's start with Rabia this time.
There's a lot of realizations that I had when I was crowned as Miss Universe Philippines. And I want to be somebody who has the heart of beauty. It's not just always having the glam shots or, looking good in public. But the real role of being a beauty queen is to offer something to your community, to be active, to be a doer, to be somebody who inspires other people to believe in their dreams also. So that is the kind of image that I want people to remember me. And I hope this coming 2021, we're going to crown another Miss Universe Philippines. She's going to embrace the duty, the role of being the representative of our country. Because it's never easy to be a Miss Philippines, but it's a blessing, and I hope that with the opportunities that would come her way, she would offer back and give back to the people around.
Nice. So, you want to be doers, not just beauty queens. That's really nice. Pauline, you want to add anything more?
Actually, what Rabia says is right. And what I can add to that, and I'm sure that Billy can back me up on this, is that the girls really stay true to who they really are. That they show their best selves and not try to be anyone else. That they don't try to be or that they don't try to follow a certain mold. Because before, when we used to think of beauty queens, we used to think of people with long hair, big girls, and it's like we try to jam those girls into a mold, which they might not even fit or they might not even be happy with. So I think that something that all the girls need to keep in mind when they want to join a beauty pageant is that it's always best to just be you, and that's when you'll actually shine the brightest. So
Maganda
that's
naman.
gonna
Maganda
be
yan,
my
Pauline.
biggest takeaway.
Ganda yan, may pahirapan mo si Billy. Actually, well, speaking of being yourself, Billy is the epitome of being herself, diba? With
Yes.
her short hair,
Oo.
coming out as bisexual. Talagang, she put it out there. Billy, may dadagdag ka pa ba o naubusan ka na?
Meron pa.
Go ahead.
Number one, if my first advice, don't join a beauty pageant just for the crown. Because as I've said in some of my posts, I've received something that is more than the crown. I was able to touch lives. I was heard. People listened to me. And I think I'm sorry, Rabia, but to me, I think that's the most important part of being on the stage. And if you do want to join the pageant, though, make sure that you don't only prepare physically, you also save up on life experiences, because all these things can help you along the way, all throughout your journey, and even after after the competition. Because end of the day, this is not just a competition. You are applying for a job, and never expect anything. Kasi kami, we know how pageants are, and during our year, it was never like that. So I think my advice to those who wants to join, do not expect anything, but always do your best.
Nice. Well said, ladies. So be a doer, be yourself, and remember that being Miss Universe is a job. Diba? Ang ganda. All right. So now after getting all the points and perspectives, we go to a segment. This is the final segment, and the segment called Restart. So here, our confidently beautiful and empowered queens can say we will hear from them how they can navigate in the next normal para mga viewers natin may mapulot din silang mga aral. So let's start off with Pauline.
When it comes to restart, or when it comes to your mentality in terms of facing the next normal, though what I can say, and this is something that I've said on stage as well, is that we all need to realize that during this pandemic, our dreams are not canceled, they're just put on hold. And we really have to find that inner strength within ourselves to continue on dreaming, and to maybe even silently or in different ways work on making our dreams still come true, because they will forever be valid, and you'll find a way to make it through. And another thing that I learned is that when the road gets tough, you need to be tougher. I find this, how do you call this? I use this as a reminder to myself to always see it through to the end. It's life is not supposed to be easy, and we face our challenges in different ways. And there are different challenges for every person that we might not be able to relate to sometimes. But it's important to still show our teeth sometimes and have a little bit of grit. And lastly, of course, something that has been said over and over again, but something that is really true, and that it's okay not to be okay. There's a beautiful series about it, which I might watch on Netflix as well, because I haven't watched it yet. But I hope that a lot of people realize that we need to take a step back sometimes. We need to give ourselves a break and give other people a break as well, so that we can breathe a little bit, collect our thoughts, and find out what really matters for us, and work on that. And to just be grateful for being alive, and to be grateful for the people we have around us, because it's those people that make life beautiful.
Well said, Pauline. Okay, next up we have Billy naman. Billy, please, you have your 2 minutes.
Okay, so let's start off with a quote that I think is very applicable to everyone, and that is from every wound there is a scar, and a scar tells a story, and it's a story that tells I survived. And I have mentioned this during my question and answer portion, that I'm actually a survivor of gender-based abuse and violence. And maybe that's not your case, but people listening to this, you are still a survivor. Maybe not with the same challenges that I had, but you are still a survivor with your own problems and with your own challenges. But you have to think of it this way: everyone has their own challenges, everyone struggles, but all you need to do is ask for help and open up. That's a very important part of the healing process. Of course, these things we cannot rush. There is also healing that comes with being silent. But you can never be stuck there. You have to start opening up and asking for help. And I think that's one way for us to move on to this new normal. And another key takeaway is that, again, yes, our dreams are still very much valid. And us girls are, I think, the best example for that. And if our dreams were valid, then of course, so are yours.
Very nice, Billy. And of course, last but not the least, our Miss Universe Philippines, Rabia. You have your 2 minutes.
I know for most of us, we are scared to fail in life because we are scared to be criticized by people. In social media, what we see is too much perfection. We need to always be in our best form. We always need to be close to perfect, if not perfect. But if there is one thing that I realize now, failure is something that builds us up. It builds our character. It makes us a better person. And it's not actually the opposite of success. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the part of success that teaches us to be humble, to accept our imperfections, to accept our vulnerable side. And that's completely okay. So regardless of where you are, who you are with, take the risk. And if you fail, maybe that's something that you need to look forward to, for you to learn something, for you to be stronger, for you to bounce back even better in life. And I always have this quote in mind. Actually, this is my mantra for years. And it goes something like this: From the ashes of my sacrifices will rise the empire of my success. Sometimes when people do throw stones at you, you use that stone to build your own castle. You need to sweat, you need to sacrifice some things, you need to fail sometimes, but that's completely okay. And don't be afraid to be the queen of yourself. For most of the time, people would have someone to compare to you, someone who would tell you, be like this, be like that. That is the formula of success. But actually, there's no such thing as formula. But I can say that it's a combination of having yourself prepared, and when the opportunity comes, you're going to be successful in life. So always love yourself, always love your insecurities, and at the end of the day, just do you, and life will do you good.
Very nice. Galing. Wow. You know what? I'm truly inspired, ladies. I mean, you ladies are wise beyond your ages. And of course, you're beautiful at that. So I'm really honored to be hosting the show with the three of you. We learned so much. And we really hope that you guys continue your advocacies and continue to touch more people. And this is truly a different Miss Universe Philippines this year. It's a pandemic pageant, and you really pulled and powered through. So now you guys want to invite them for anything that you guys are doing, any guestings, any appearances online that you want to promote.
Okay, I'm gonna start off with this. At the moment, no appearances on TV or online yet. Still hopeful though. Pero guys, you have been an amazing support on all of our journeys, and I just wanted to say that I appreciate that, and I hope that you continue following our journey, whether it's through social media or whatever other ways there are. And I somehow hope that our journeys inspire you as well to be your best self, to give back, to use the influence that you have to create a difference out there and to touch the lives of many people. So yeah, that's gonna be my takeaway for now. I'll
Very
plug
nice.
later.
Before we wrap up, just to let you guys know, I don't really watch any beauty pageants locally, but this was the first year I actually watched a pageant. Not only because friends ko sina Jonah, sina RS, and Sam, but because I wanted to see what a pandemic pageant looked like. And, I have to say, it was amazing. So congratulations, ladies, and I hope to meet you, ladies, in person very soon. Come and join our community via the official Restart Facebook groups, which features all three of our tracks: business, wellness, and creatives. Groups offer exclusive content such as Ask Me Anything with our guest panelists, community webinars, and workshops. Of course, we'd like to thank our episode partner for the day, Avida. It's very easy to be discouraged right now as things are still so uncertain. But as our guests have shown, having that grit to pull through these times are what paves the way for us to make progress and succeed further down the line. Remember your why, and make sure to celebrate the small things, which I call micro victories. And in this next normal, be sure to find your motivation and make that leap forward. As always, in times of crisis, it's not game over. It's time to restart.